Hi, this is Andy from Aquatic Source for Michigan Pool News. This month we're talking about Chemtrol automatic chemical controllers. If you see, we have, this is a PC3000. It does more than just chlorine and pH. I'll get into that in a minute. The components are the controller. We have a flow cell with the ORP and the pH probe. We have a safety flow switch, so if the flow stops from shutting the pump off or a power failure, this unit will stop the feeding of any chemical, chlorine or acid. We also have a sample cell, a valve in order to test the water from, to check what's going past the probes. We have also, this one has the Ethernet connection, so you can remotely operate and look at this from off-site at your desk. I'm going to go to the other side and we're going to go through these menus. So if you want to zoom in, we have, this is telling us we have ORP in the pool, which is the oxidation, how well the chlorine's working. I'm going to right arrow into it and it says A is in automatic. All of these menus are similar. The only difference is the top heading. This is an automatic, which if I right arrow in, we can either do automatic, manual, or off. That's if you have to turn off because you're shocking. If we right arrow in on automatic, we have on-off, which means it's going to turn on and off on demand. Proportional means it'll pump for a little bit, it'll wait, let the water mix and the chlorine in there mix for a little bit, then it'll pump a little bit more, trying to eliminate some of the overshooting. A lot of that is on the smaller bodies of water. We'll back out. We have, this is what the calibrate is the one that's what's being generated in the pool. pH would read 7.5, 7.6. You have a set point is like cruise control. We're setting when we want this to turn on and off. When it gets below the 760 millivolts or the 763, it'll drop below 760. It'll actually turn on the chlorine pump. If pH is set for 7.5, when it goes to 7.6, it'll actually turn on an acid pump and keep going until it gets below the set point. We put in a safety low alarm. On this one it's 650. pH would be 7.0. High alarm is 850, which is a little bit above the set or what we're running on a normal mode. Only because if you have to shock the pool, you won't go into any lockout alarms. We have a time limit that actually lets you pump only for so much continuous time before it'll shut off. You can go anywhere from 4 hours, 6, 8, it all depends on what kind of demand you have on the water. And we have the run time. This also tells you it'll count up every time it turns on. It'll start counting up to your safety timers. We'll left arrow back out. pH, we'll go down to pH. It'll show that it's the exact same menu, just headed up as pH. We'll left arrow back out. We also see that we have the pump is showing the gallons per minute. This system is pumping 1,346 gallons a minute. Another thing that this unit does is it will in turn store, every hour it will store the amount of the readings that are on the unit. We'll go down to view reports. And if you're on a ChemCom or the Ethernet, you can actually pull this up at your desk and print them off a printer. But this tells us the date, the time, ORP reading, the sanitizer, which is a kind of a calculated. This tells us what our pH is. Right now it's 7.5. We'll right arrow over, and it says if you had pressure and transducers on your system, it would tell your pressure reading. It tells how many gallons per minute we're actually running right now. And you can actually print that once a month, put it into a file so you know what happens every month. To get out of that, we'll just left arrow back out. Go back to the main screen and we'll be back into our home screen. The only normal maintenance we'd have is cleaning of the probes. To clean the probe, you would shut the controller off, shut your lines off going in and out of it. Unthread the jam nuts, pull the probes out, and you would rinse them off, use soap and water, maybe a toothbrush with soap and water on it, to clean just the glass bulb, slide them back in, tighten the jam nuts, and then turn the flow back on. While you've got the flow on, you want to make sure that the switch is off for about a half hour to an hour, because whatever you use to clean the probes is actually still on that probe until it gets washed off. Half hour or so, once it's settled down and it's not moving all over the place, you can turn the controller back on and make sure you're back in automatic. This is Andy from Aquatic Source, Michigan Pool News. Thank you very much.